on this page right here. I just started the recording, so you guys missed a little bit when I post this. But so when we do that, so the first thing we have to do is record the fact that we lent somebody money. So on November 1st, we lent somebody money. It's going to be notes receivable and cash. All right, we lent somebody money and we gave them cash. Now, the next thing that happens is it's now 12/31, and those 2 months of interest that I just talked to you about, we need to record. So the first thing you have to do is take that principal times rate times time that I talked about. Our principal is $100,000 times a rate of 6%, and the time is going to be 2/12, because only 2 months, November and December. So when you go and look at it, $6,000 is the total interest, $500 a month. Our total interest is $1,000. So we need to record interest that somebody needs to pay us, but they haven't yet. So we know this is $1,000. Interest that someone owes us that haven't paid us yet is going to be interest receivable and interest revenue. And I know I talked about expense. That was expense, but I jumped ahead to payable. Sorry. So when we have to record revenue in the period it's earned and expenses in the period in which it was used. Sorry about that. So that all happened in 2018. All right. The company lent $100,000 to another company. That company's going to have to pay us interest, right? Interest receivable, interest revenue. And then that's all in that year. So then now we jump all the way to October of the next year. And there's a couple different ways of doing this, but the way the book is going to show you is the first thing they're going to do is they're going to collect the interest. Well, if they're going to collect the interest, that's cash. All right. Now, how much interest are they going to owe us overall? Well, overall, now they're going to owe us $100,000 times 6% times 10/12, which is 5,000. So then total, they're going to owe us $6,000. We've already recognized 100,000, so the interest revenue, the interest we're earning is 5,000, because that's the 10 months in 2019. The other $1,000 is this interest receivable that we're collecting. So we're going to debit cash, credit interest revenue, and credit interest receivable. And the last entry would be cash, notes receivable for the $100,000 when they pay you back. Now, it's not a big deal. I don't like the way they do this in Connect because I think they would just pay you $106,000 personally. They wouldn't give you a $6,000 interest and $6,000 note. I would just collect this all in one journal entry, but this is how they go through and record it. Now, I'll go through a couple of the slides, but does that make some sense? Going through first, recording the fact that you lent somebody money, recording the revenue that you earn in 2018, collecting the revenue, showing the revenue you earn in 19, and then the revenue that you collected, interest receivable, and then collecting the note. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. All right, so there's your note receivable. The next slide kind of shows you exactly what I talked about. You can go back and take a look at how it does your calculations. And then your maturity date, again, coming up with the extra $5,000. And then the principal. And then the last thing in the chapter is computing interest receivable turnover ratio, which is the same thing as inventory turnover ratio, which we just learned in 7. Except for now we're looking at it to how quickly we collect our accounts receivable. So this is sales divided by average accounts net receivable or accounts receivable. And then we divide that into 365 to get that same days to collect. So again, one of the things I mentioned is keeping track of this average, beginning plus ending divided by 2. So sales divided by average receivables. And then we're going to divide that into 365 so we can get days. Hope I can't write, my pen's not writing. So.